Now the legislature is actually going to vote to actually see if they can tax away 90% of those bonuses. Oh, that's good. Vote to sit there and tax away 90% of those bonuses. Sure, it goes back into a government that's going to shove it to them again. Okay, yeah, big deal. I lost it originally, but I'll get it back somehow because I work for AIG and we handle your fucking money. So you will give it to us one way or another. All those taxes are going to do is kill the little guy. You know, the little guy that's not handling all the politicians' money. Yeah. So, way to go, AIG. Another way just to fuck the little guy. You know, why don't we give it towards people who actually give a shit about their employees, that take the stimulus money and use it towards creating more jobs, increasing health care for their employees, increasing training for their employees. Put it with their employees, you know, the ones that actually are the bread and butter of the fucking company. You know, there are people doing that. Intel's doing that. But oh no. So if anybody deserved 2 stimulus packages, I'd say it's companies like Intel, not AIG. I don't know. You know, I actually was training for a job that I was actually out of in a week because the economy got even more worse and they hired on too many people, and I was one of the last people hired on, so of course after a week I was gone. But basically we were handling, how should I say, we were handling insurance checks for people who had who suffered in natural disasters to fix up their homes. Now, it was a lot easier if they had their house paid for outright. They got an estimate for what needed to be done, and then they got quotes on how much that's going to cost, and then we cut them a check. But if they're like most people who are actually paying into the bank for their homes, then they were overseen, should we say. They got a professional to look at it to see exactly what needed to do to bring the house up to code, or the house up to the original standard that it was in or insured for. And what we did was we gave it to them in thirds. What they did was the contractors did a third of what they were supposed to do. We sent out an inspector to make sure it was done properly, and then they got a check for that first part. Then we had the contractors come out again and finish the second third of what needed to be done. And when it was done, they said, okay, have an inspector take a look at it. And if that was done properly, we sent out the second check. And then basically we sent out an inspector to see what else needed to be done on the house. Had the contractors do it. And sent out an inspector to make sure that was done properly and to make sure everything was exactly the way it needed to be done. And we sent the last third of the check. Basically, we were up their ass like a babysitter, watching them, making sure they did the job, they did it properly, and they didn't screw us. Because they did not own the house. Technically, the bank owned the house, and we were watching out for the bank's interest. You know, when it comes to these bailouts, this is the United States of America. We should not have to be up people's asses like that. This is not fucking Russia here. This is not Red China. We are not a communist country. We are not a socialist country, however. We will get into that later in another video. Whatever. However, obviously with these bailouts, we shouldn't have to be up their asses, but maybe we should. Maybe we obviously need to be up their asses to watch them like little children. Maybe we need to sign over saying, sure, we'll give you the bailout money in fractions, maybe the first, in thirds, maybe in fourths, We shouldn't have to, because these people are adults. They run businesses, big businesses like AIG and Citibank. World conglomerates. But no. Obviously, there's your fucking kindergartners. Maybe we need to be up their ass just a little bit more. They can mind their P's and Q's. Bonus is my ass. You got a job, and you're lucky you didn't get a pay cut. That's your fucking bonus. I'm sorry, people. I'm pissed off. And you know what? You should be too. What are we going to do about it? Blessed be.